Among Us wasn't just a game for some people. It was a memory, a game that brought friends together when the entire world was stuck inside. But somehow, that game almost disappeared, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why. Among Us was released on June 15th, 2018. The concept was simple but incredibly fun. You could play with up to 15 players, but there was a catch. Among those players were imposters. The imposters had one job: kill the other players without getting caught. Meanwhile, the crewmates had to complete tasks around the map, figure out who the imposters were, and vote them out. It was simple, but every game was different. Your best friend could be the imposter. The person you trusted the most could secretly be killing everyone. And that was the magic of Among Us. But there was one problem. Almost nobody was playing it. For more than 2 years, Among Us remained a relatively unknown game until something completely unexpected happened. The world changed. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic forced millions of people to stay at home. People couldn't meet their friends. They couldn't go outside, and they needed something to do. That's when Among Us exploded. Streamers and YouTubers started playing it. Creators like Ludwig and many others helped push the game to millions of viewers. Suddenly, Among Us was everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, memes. You couldn't escape it. At its peak, Among Us reportedly reached tens of millions of active players. Everyone was playing. Everyone was talking about it. And for a while, it felt like Among Us was going to be impossible to stop. But with massive success came massive problems. The servers struggled to handle the sudden explosion of players. Public lobbies became filled with toxic players. Cheaters and hackers started appearing. And the game that once felt fresh and exciting was becoming harder to enjoy. But the biggest problem wasn't even the servers. It was time. As the world slowly returned to normal, people went back to school. They went back to work. They went back to their normal lives. And slowly, people stopped playing Among Us. Players started moving on to new games. New trends appeared, and the game that once dominated the internet began to disappear from the spotlight. Among Us had gone from being one of the biggest games in the world to something people remembered from a few years ago. But here's the thing. Among Us wasn't just another game that became popular. For millions of people, it was the game they played when the entire world stopped. It brought friends together, it created memories, and it gave people something to laugh about during one of the strangest times in modern history. Maybe that's why Among Us never really died. The players left, the trends changed, but the memories stayed. And that's why, for some people, Among Us will always be more than just a game. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.